Hafaday, Faisho, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to your House Chamber. I now like to call this first day, third special session to order. Please let us all rise for a moment of silent prayer. Thank you, everyone. I now like to move down to roll call, and I recognize the clerk to please call the roll.
Representative Vada? Representative Valdon?
Here.
Representative Vatal? Representative Beneventi?
Present.
Representative Angelo Komatsu?
Present.
Representative Hidego Komatsu?
Present.
Representative Joel Komatsu?
Here.
Representative Vicente Komatsu?
Present.
Representative Castro?
Stigat.
Representative Joseph Flores?
Present.
Representative Marissa Flores?
Present.
Representative Manglotnya?
Present.
Representative Vogel?
Present.
Representative Omar?
Present.
Representative Probst? Representative Sablan?
Stigat.
Representative St. Nicholas?
Present.
Mr. Speaker?
Present.
Representative Yangtamai? Representative Yumo?
Present.
Mr. Speaker, 17 members are present and 3 members are absent.
Thank you, clerk. With 17 members present, we can move forward. Please note that Representatives Ed Probst, Denita Yangtamai, and Blas Jonathan Attao are hereby excused for today's session. Thank you. And with that, we now move down to item number 2, public comments. And the podium is open. Please make sure to state your name, the entity you represent. You'll be given 5 minutes. Please keep public comments to what's on today's agenda. Podium's open.
Good afternoon, honorable members of the House and to the public as well. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is John Damapan. It's an honor to be able to be in front of you here today. It was just recently this month of June that I decided to take a chance using Coda's new fixed route services. I used Coda services for 10 years using the demand response service because I wasn't used to the diversity in services. I come before this body today in support of this crucial legislation to ensure the safety of all motorists on the roads, and more importantly, both our CODA fixed route transit operators and passengers. I would like to ask this body to please remember we cater to people with disabilities and the elderly, and it requires us more time to board the CODA vehicles. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Demapan. Podium still open.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Anthony Camacho de Leon Guerrero. I am a former graduate from Marianas High School, and during my junior and senior year, I chose to take CODA's public transportation services to take me from my house to school and to practice. The reason why is because I believe that this was a more reliable and cost-efficient option. After graduating, I moved to Hawaii for college, and I realized that going out there with no help whatsoever, I found that Hawaii's bus system was the most affordable and available option to me as an incoming freshman in college, with not that much to prepare for financially. And, using the public transportation system there, I was able to get to work on time. I was able to do grocery shopping and even leisure time, such as going to the beach. And on that time, during my commute time, I was able to see many different people come from many different walks of life. And I find that amazing to see that all these different people are using the same exact service. And now that I'm here, I see that Coda has implemented their new fixed route system, and I believe that with the right support, I believe that Coda's fixed route system will reach that potential of how complex Hawaii's bus system is, and will help the entire community. So now that I've seen the fixed route system, I see that not only does it give opportunities in terms of rides to the different members of our community, but it gives rides to people who want to earn their degree. They want to get to work on time, and they also want to go grocery shopping or even go somewhere like Cha. And with that said, in short, I support this bill because I believe that with this bill, this fixed route system has the potential to connect the entire community. Thank you.
Thank you. Podium still open for public comments.
Mr. Speaker, I don't see anything wrong with, in conjunction with the newly paved road that we assist the Coda bus routes. On the other hand, good afternoon, half days, Antiro, Speaker Edmund S. Villagomez, Vice Speaker Joel C. Camacho, floor leaders not here, so, and honorable members of the 23rd Northern Marianas Commonwealth Legislature. For record purposes, my name is Jean-Paul B. Regis, Special Projects Coordinator under the Office of the Governor. The Special Assistant for Administration, Mr. Oscar M. Babauta, had assigned myself to extend the administration's brief remarks, and on behalf of Honorable Governor Arno I. Palacios and the Honorable Lieutenant Governor David M. Apatang, I greatly appreciate the opportunity to appear before you today. I am here once more, Mr. Speaker, to extend the administration's appreciation and express our gratitude to you and to your members of the Public Utilities, Transportation, and Communications Committee, and to the committee members on Judiciary and Governmental Operations, initiated and guided by the Chairman and Chairwoman, Representative Vincent S. Adon, and Representative Marissa R. Flores. Mr. Speaker, this afternoon you'll be entertaining Joint Standing Committee Report 23-1, the reappointment of Dr. John Jack A. Angelo to serve as a member of the Public Utilities Commission representing the 3rd Senatorial District of Saipan. And as always, the administration seeks for your favorable consideration. Your untiring effort on examining and entertaining our nominee is just a step forward as the administration completes vacancies for all board members, commissions, and activity heads. Mr. Speaker, and to honorable members of this 23rd Northern Marianas Commonwealth Legislature, Governor Arno I. Palacios and Lieutenant Governor David M. Mapatang extends their sincere appreciation for your understanding and prompt approval on behalf of our nominee. Thank you, Jesus Masi Zangiliso.
Jesus Masi. Podium still open. All right, it looks like there are no further public comments. And before we move forward, I'd just like to inform the members that I have appointed Representative Ralph Yumo as the acting floor leader for today's session. No, any objection? No objection. Thank you. All right, we'll now move down to item number 3, adoption of journals, and I recognize the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under item 3, adoption of journals, we have 2 items. First day, second special session journal dated May 2nd, 2024, and second day, second special session journal dated May 10th, 2024.
Thank you, clerk. I now recognize the floor leader for the proper motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now move for the adoption of first day, second special session journal, May 2nd, 2024, and second day, second special session journal, May 10, 2024. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of journals, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All right. All in favor to adopt the journals, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. We now move down to item number 4, introduction of bills, and I recognize Representative Marissa Flores.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I'd like to introduce House Bill number 23112 to establish the Office of Financial Integrity and Compliance, OFIC, and the OFIC Oversight Committee to improve the CNMI government's financial management and reporting, introduced by myself and this body. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Marissa Flores. House Bill number 23-112 will be referred to the Committee on JGO. Next, I'd like to recognize Representative John Paul Sablan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Officially introducing House Bill number 23-113, a bill for an act to provide greater authority to government transit buses and owned and operated by the Commonwealth Office of Transit and Authority, CODA, and for other purposes. Introduced by myself and welcome other co-sponsors. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative John Paul Sablan. House Bill number 23-113 will be referred to the Committee on PUTC. Thank you. And with that, we now move down to item number B. Item number B. Item B, House Local Bills. And I recognize Representative Patrick San Nicolas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is to officially introduce also Local Bill 23-54 to impose a 0.5% ad valorem local excess surtax for the privilege of first sale, use, manufacture, lease, and rental of construction materials by licensed construction contractors in the 2nd Senatorial District.
Proceed.
Introduced by myself, and if I may, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, proceed.
Officially introducing House Local Bill 23-55 to establish a gross revenue surtax of 0.5% on revenues generated by licensed construction contractors, applicable only to revenues in excess of an individual's annual gross revenue of $250,000 and limited to revenues generated within the 2nd Senatorial District. Introduced by myself, Mr. Speaker. I yield.
Thank you, Leader San Nicolas. Now recognize Representative Manny Castro.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to introduce House Local Bill 23-56 to reappropriate $120,000 allotted under Saipan Local Law 20-26, Section 2R1 or L, specifically under Business Unit 7190D, pre-filed by myself and several others.
Thank you, Representative Manny Castro. I now recognize Representative Julie Ogo.
Thank you, Speaker. I would like to officially introduce House Local Bill 23-57 to reappropriate fund balances under Rota Local Law 20-08 as follows. $131 under BU, Business Unit 71830, $1,026 under BU 7183P, and $307 under BU 23120 for the Department of Public Works. May I continue?
Proceed.
And I'm also officially introducing House Local Bill number 23-58 to appropriate the $72,200 of the Rota Poker license fees account, specifically under BU 3302. Pre-filed, both bills are pre-filed by myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Julie Ogo. And with nothing further, we now proceed to item number 5, introduction of resolutions. And I recognize Representative John Paul Sablan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Officially introducing House Resolution number 23-21 to recognize Mr. Mickey Kim for his outstanding volunteerism and relentless dedication to the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. Introduced by myself and welcome others. And if it's not too much to ask, Mr. Speaker, if I can offer this as a committee as a whole. Thank
No
you.
objection. Okay, thank you. So with that, with no objection, please note that House Resolution 23-21 is hereby introduced by the Committee of the Whole. With nothing further under House Resolutions, we now move down to House Joint Resolutions. And I recognize once again Representative John Paul Sablan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Officially introducing House Joint Resolution number 23-2, supporting the resumption of the alliance between the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands and Guam through the Marianas Islands Legislature Association and for other purposes, introduced by myself. And also, I would like to request, if there's no objection, that I offer this as a committee as a whole. Thank
No
you, members.
objection. Thank you. And with that, just note that House Joint Resolution number 23-2 is now hereby introduced by the Committee of the Whole. Representative John Paul Sablan, you have the floor.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. Officially introducing House Joint Resolution number 23-3 to authorize the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands through its governor to submit to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development the action plan for the Community Development Block Grant Application number B-24-ST69-0001, the Home Investment Partnership Grant Application number M-24-ST69-0203, the National Housing Trust Fund Grant Application number F-24-ST69-0203, and the Emergency Solutions Grant Application number E-24-DC69-001 to receive the funds requested therein and to assume all responsibilities that may be imposed pursuant to those grants. Offered by myself, and if it's not too much to ask again, Mr. Speaker and members, if I can offer this as a committee as a whole. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative John Paul Sablan. And with that, House Joint Resolution number 23-3 is hereby introduced by the Committee of the Whole. We now proceed down to House Commemorative Resolution without any communication from the author as to who will be introducing this commemorative resolution. We will just leave it on the agenda and we'll proceed down to House Concurrent Resolutions. And I recognize the Chairman of Ways and Means, Representative Ralph Yumo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now introducing House Concurrent Resolution number 23-3 to approve revenues and resources of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands as identified pursuant to Article 3, Section 9A of the Constitution as amended and 1 CMC Division 7 for fiscal year 2025 beginning October 1st, 2024 and ending September 30, 2025. If there's no objection, Mr. Speaker, can we leave this on the calendar? I believe the administration will be submitting a revised budget that may change the net. And so I would just introduce this and just leave it in calendar until we get the final version coming out of July 1st. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Ralph Yumo. All resolutions, with the exception of the House Commemorative Resolution 23-10, will be placed on calendar today. Thank you, colleagues. And with nothing further under resolutions, we now move down to item number 6, messages from the governor, and I recognize the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under item 6, messages from the governor, we have Governor's Communication 2397 through 23108.
Thank you, clerk. Any discussions under recognized Representative Roman Benavente?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd just like to acknowledge the governor for passing the local bill that we introduced with regards to funding for Ladder Beach project. So I just like to extend my appreciation to him and the effort, and to the members also. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Roman Beneventi. Any further? Recognize Representative Diego Camacho.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also like to thank the administration and the governor for signing into law House Bill 2389 to appropriate $517,000 to the Cannabis Commission so that they can carry out their duties. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Diego Vincent Camacho. Recognize Leader San Nicolas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is to give thanks to Governor Palacios for signing House Local Bill number 23-51D1 to appropriate 47,000 revenues collected from poker fees in the second senatorial district. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield.
Thank you, Representative Patrick San Nicolas. Any further? I recognize the Vice Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Also like to formally thank the governor for signing into law Saipan Local Law 23-16 and Saipan Local Law 23-18. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Speaker. Any further? I recognize Representative Patrick San Nicolas.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank again the governor for signing the Tina Local Law 23-13 to appropriate $51,017 for personnel on the operation for Tinian Casino Gaming Control Commission. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Leader San Nicolas. Any further under Governor's communication? Ready? Okay, with that, for Governor's communications 23-102 and 23-104, referring to the nomination of Mr. Bruce M. Camacho to serve as a member of the PUC Commission, PUC, representing the 3rd Senatorial District, and also submitting a copy of the nominee's resume, police clearance, statement of financial interest, and drug test receipts. Those communications will be referred to the Committee on PUTC and JGO. Okay, and with that, we'll go ahead and move forward under item number 7, Senate Communications, and I recognize the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under item 7, Senate Communications, we have Senate Communications 2388 through 23102.
Thank you, clerk. And with that, I recognize the floor leader for the proper motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'll move that the House accepts Senate Communication 23-88 through 23-102 to become the property of the House. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made to accept Senate Communications, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor for the motion, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, colleagues. Any further discussion under Senate Communications? None? Okay, for Senate Communication 23-89, transmitting for House Action Senate Bill 23-50, Senate Draft 1, that communication would be referred to the Committee on Natural Resources. As for Senate Communications 23-90 and 23-97, we will go ahead and leave that on the agenda. We are just pending some communications from the Secretary of Labor and also the author of the bill. So we'll just leave that on the agenda. Thank you. And with no further discussions, we'll move down to item number 8, House Communications. Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under item 8, House Communications, we have House Communications 23120 to 23132.
Thank you, Clerk. Any discussions under House Communications? Ready? All right. Thank you, colleagues. We now move down to item number 9, Communications from the Judicial Branch. We have none. Item number 10, Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under item 10, the communications from departments and agencies, we have just one item, Department Agency Communication 23-20.
Thank you, Clerk. Any discussion under communications from departments and agencies? Ready? All right. Thank you, colleagues. We now move down to item number 11, Miscellaneous Communications, and I recognize the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under item 11, miscellaneous communications, we have miscellaneous communications 2378 through 2385.
Thank you, Clerk. Any discussions under miscellaneous communications? Ready? All right, we'll now move down to item number 12, reports of standing committees, and I recognize the clerk.
Once again, Mr. Speaker, thank you. Reports of standing committees, we have 4 items. Standing Committee Report 2378 to 2381.
Thank you, Clerk. And with that, I now recognize the floor leader for the motion to adopt standing committee reports. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now move to adopt Standing Committee Report 23-78, reporting on House Bill number 23-58, entitled to amend 9 CMC subsection 2116 to provide for the identification of combat veteran and combat disabled veteran, Purple Heart, Gold Star family, and Silver Star veterans on the vehicle license plate and for other purposes. Your House Committee on Judicial and Government Operation recommends that the House pass House Bill 23-58 in its current form. So move.
Thank you. A motion has been made for the adoption of Standing Committee Report 23-78, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor to adopt the committee report, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Standing Committee Report 23-78 is hereby adopted. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'll move for the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 23-79, reporting on House Bill number 23-105, entitled to integrate the Board of Parole into the Department of Corrections. Your Committee on Judiciary and Government Operations recommends that the House pass House Bill number 23-105 in its current form. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 23-79, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All right. All in favor to adopt Standing Committee Report 23-79, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, colleagues. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'll move to adopt Standing Committee Report number 23-80, reporting on House Bill number 23-100, entitled to provide for the issuance of certificates as certified public accountants to regulate the practice of accountancy in the public interest, to establish a board of accountancy and prescribe its powers and duties, and for other purposes. Your House Committee on Judicial and Governmental Operation recommends that the House pass House Bill number 23-100 in its current form. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 23-80, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All right. All in favor to adopt the Standing Committee Report 23-80, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Standing Committee Report 23-80 is hereby adopted. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And last, I will now move to adopt Standing Committee Report 23-81, reporting on Senate Bill number 23-13, entitled to strengthen the mandate of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands Archives at the Northern Marianas College. Your House Committee on Judicial and Governmental Operation recommends that the House pass Senate Bill number 23-13 in its current form. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 23-81, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? Okay. All in favor to adopt Standing Committee Report 23-81, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Thank you, colleagues. We now move down to item number 13, reports of special and conference committees. I recognize the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under item 13, reports of special and conference committee, we have 1 item, Joint Standing Committee Report 23-1.
Thank you, clerk. I now recognize the floor leader for the proper motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'll move for the adoption of Joint Standing Committee Report number 23-1 1, reporting on the reappointment of Dr. John Jack A. Angelo to serve as a member of the Public Utilities Commission representing the 3rd Senatorial District, your House Committee on Public Utilities, Transportation, and Communications, and on Judicial and Governmental Operations recommends the confirmation of Dr. Angelo's reappointment. So move.
Thank you, Floor Leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of Joint Standing Committee Report number 23-1, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All right. And with that, just to inform the public and the members that the adoption of this joint Special Committee Report number 23-1 confirms the nominee on our end. And with that, I recognize the clerk to please call the roll.
Representative Fadat? Representative Aldan? Representative Benavente?
Gun.
Representative Angelo Komatsu?
Yes.
Representative Diego Komatsu?
Yes.
Representative Joel Komatsu?
Good.
Representative Seti Komatsu?
Yes.
Representative Castro?
Ungan.
Representative Joseph Flores?
Yes.
Representative Marissa Flores?
Yes.
Representative Maglonia?
Yes.
Representative Ogo?
Yes.
Representative Omar?
Hungan.
Representative Sablan?
Gun.
Representative Nicolas?
Yes.
Representative Yumo?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 17 members present voted yes.
Thank you, clerk. And with all 17 members present voting yes, Joint Special Committee Report number 23-1 is hereby adopted. Congratulations, Dr. Angelo. Okay, and with that, can we take a short recess for a group photo? Short recess. Before we went on recess, we just adopted the special committee report confirming on our end the nominee, Dr. Jack Angelo, for the PUC commission. And with that, we now move down to item number 14, unfinished business. We have none. Item number 15, resolution calendar, and I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now move for the adoption of House Commemorative Resolution number 23-8, a House Commemorative Resolution to honor and commend the life and legacy of the late Honorable Pedro R. De Leon Guerrero for his lifelong excuse me. I'm sorry, I apologize. Lifelong dedication and extensive contribution to the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, and to extend our heartfelt condolences to his bereaved family. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. Motion has been made for the adoption of commemorative resolution number 23-8, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All right. I have a floor amendment to offer. I think the copies have been distributed. And if you look closely, it says amendment for House Commemorative Resolution 23-08 is hereby amended to read as follows. Page 2, line 5, after the language with his. Okay. We'll add the language previous spouse, the late Pilar Manglonia de Leon Guerrero, and his wife, which will recognize Mrs. Rowena Relado de Leon Guerrero, and so on and so forth. Consistent with the intent of the foregoing, I hereby also move to allow the legal counsel, together with the House Clerk, to make the further non-substantive technical amendments that are strictly necessary to effectuate the intent of this floor amendment. So moved. Thank you, colleagues. And with that, any discussions? Ready? All in favor for the floor amendment, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Floor amendments hereby adopted. And now we move back to the main motion for the adoption of now House Commemorative Resolution 23-8, House Draft 1. Any discussions? Ready? All right. All in favor to adopt the commemorative resolution, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Commemorative Resolution 23-8, HD1 is hereby adopted. Thank you, colleagues. Floor leader.
I now move for the adoption of House Resolution number 23-20, a House resolution to honor and congratulate the Sinimay Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, JROTC, Drew teams for for their exceptional performance at the Golden Bear West Coast National Drew Meet. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of House Resolution number 23-20, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? Okay. All in favor to adopt the resolution, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. House Resolution 23-20 is hereby adopted. Floor leader.
Speak anyway. Short recess.
Short recess. Thank you, everyone. Well, before we went on recess, we just adopted House Resolution 23-20. And now we'll go ahead and continue on with the House resolutions on under the resolution calendar. And I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, I would now like to offer a motion to adopt House Resolution number 23-21, a House resolution to recognize Mr. Mickey Kim for his outstanding volunteerism and relentless dedication to the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of House Resolution number 23-1, and it has been seconded. Any discussion? Recognize Representative John Paul Sablan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And at this time, I'd like to offer a floor amendment in the form of substitute. And this is to substitute the current resolution with a new resolution that corrects the session year and clarifies language and phrasing for readability. Consistent with the intent of the foregoing, I hereby also move to allow legal counsel together with the House Clerk to make further non-substantive technical amendments that are strictly necessary to effectuate the intent of this floor amendment prior to the transmittal. The legal sufficiency signatures of the House contained in the final engrossed version of the bill shall reflect the signatures of the council endorsing the last amendment, if any, and addressed by the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative John Paul Sablan. A floor amendment has been offered in the form of a substitute, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor of the substitute offered by Representative John Paul Sablan, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. We now move back to the main motion for the adoption of House Resolution number 23-1, HS1. Any further discussions? Ready? All right. All in favor to adopt House Resolution number 23-21, HS1, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Thank you, colleagues. We now move down to the next one. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'll move to adopt House Joint Resolution number 23-2, a House Joint Resolution supporting the resumption of the alliance between the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands and Guam through the Mariana Islands Legislature Association, or MILA, and for other purposes. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of House Joint Resolution number 23-2, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? I now recognize the clerk to please call the roll.
Representative Vada? Representative Valdan? Representative Benavente? Representative Angelo Camacho? Representative Diego Camacho?
Yes.
Representative Joel Camacho?
Again.
Representative Vicente Camacho?
Yes.
Representative Castro?
Hungan.
Representative Joseph Flores?
Yes.
Representative Marissa Flores?
Yes.
Representative Manglotnia?
Yes.
Representative Ogo?
Yes.
Representative Omar?
Hungan.
Representative Sablan?
Hungan.
Representative Nicolas?
Yes.
Representative Yumo?
Yes.
Representative Angelo Camacho? Mr. Speaker?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 16 members present voted yes.
Thank you, clerk. With 16 members present voting yes, House Joint Resolution number 23-2 is hereby adopted. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'll move to adopt House Joint Resolution number 23-3, a House Joint Resolution to authorize the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands through its governor to submit to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development the action plan for the community block grant application number B-24-ST69-0001, the Home Investment Partnership Grant application number M-24-ST69-0203, the National Housing Trust Fund Grant application number F-24-ST69-0203, and the Emergency Solution Grant application number E-24-DC69-0001 to receive funds requested therein and to assume all responsibilities that may be imposed pursuant to the grant. So move.
Thank you, Floor Leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of House Joint Resolution 23-3, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All right, Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Vada? Representative Valdon? Representative Benavente? Representative Diego Komatsu?
Yes.
Representative Joel Komatsu?
Good.
Representative Vicente Komatsu?
Yes.
Representative Castro?
Good.
Representative Joseph Flores?
Yes.
Representative Marissa Flores?
Yes.
Representative Manglonia?
Yes.
Representative Vogel?
Yes.
Representative Omar?
Hungan.
Representative Sablan?
Gun.
Representative Siniclas?
Yes.
Representative Yumo?
Yes.
Representative Angelo Komatsu?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 17 members present voted yes.
Thank you, Clerk. With all 17 members present voting yes, House Joint Resolution number 23-3 is hereby adopted. That takes care of our resolution calendar. We now move down to item number 16, bill calendar. And I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now I offer a motion to pass House Bill number 23-72 SD2, a bill for an act to establish the Department of Labor.
Floor leader,
sorry,
sorry
I apologize.
to interrupt.
Let me
Just
withdraw that.
for clarification, we did mention that we're
Yes.
leaving that on the agenda. So floor is yours, floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I apologize. I withdraw that motion, but I'll offer a motion to pass House Bill number 23-58, a bill for an act to amend 9 CMC subsection 2116 to provide for the identification of combat veterans, combat disabled veteran, Purple Heart, Gold Star family, and Silver Star veterans on the vehicle license plate for other purposes. So moved.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the passage of House Bill number 23-58, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Vada? Yes. Representative Valdon? Representative Benavente?
Good.
Representative Angelo Komatsu?
Yes.
Representative Diego Komatsu?
Yes.
Representative Joel Komatsu?
Good.
Representative Vicente Komatsu?
Yes.
Representative Castro?
Good.
Representative Joseph Flores?
Yes.
Representative Marissa Flores?
Yes.
Representative Manglonia?
Yes.
Representative Vogel?
Yes.
Representative Omar?
Hungan.
Representative Sablan?
Gun.
Representative Siniclas?
Yes.
Representative Yumo?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 17 members present voted yes.
Thank you, Clerk. With all 17 members present voting yes, House Bill number 23-58 hereby passes the House. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'll move to pass House Bill number 23-105, a bill for an act to integrate the Board of Parole into the Department of Correction. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made by the floor leader to pass or for the passage of House Bill number 23-105, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Vada? Representative Valdon? Representative Benavente?
Good.
Representative Angelo Komatsu?
Yes.
Representative Diego Komatsu?
Yes.
Representative Joel Komatsu?
Good.
Representative Vicente Komatsu? Representative Castro?
Good.
Representative Joseph Flores?
Yes.
Representative Marissa Flores?
Yes.
Representative Manglonia?
Yes.
Representative Vogel?
Yes.
Representative Omar?
Hungan.
Representative Sablan?
Gun.
Representative Siniclas?
Yes.
Representative Yumo?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 17 members present voted yes.
Thank you, Clerk. With all 17 members present voting yes, House Bill number 23-105 hereby passes the House. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'll move to pass House Bill number 23-100, a bill for an act to provide for the issuance of certificates as certified public accountants to regulate the practice of accountancy in the public's interest, to establish the Board of Accountancy and prescribes its powers and duties and for other purposes. So move.
Second.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the passage of House Bill number 23-100, and it has been seconded. Any discussions?
Ready.
Ready? Okay, Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Vada? Representative Valdon? Representative Benavente? Representative Angelo Camacho?
Yes.
Representative Diego Camacho?
Yes.
Representative Joel Camacho?
Good.
Representative Vicente Camacho?
Yes.
Representative Castro?
Yes.
Representative Joseph Flores? Representative Marissa Flores?
Yes.
Representative Manglotnia?
Yes.
Representative Vogel?
Yes.
Representative Omar?
Hungan.
Representative Sablan?
Hungan.
Representative San Nicolas?
Yes.
Representative Yumo?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker? Mr.
Yes.
Speaker, all 17 members present voted yes.
Thank you, Clerk. With all 17 members present voting yes, House Bill number 23-100 hereby passes the House. Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And last on our calendar is House Bill number, I move to pass Senate Bill number 23-13, a bill for an act to strengthen the mandate of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands Archives at the Northern Marianas College. So move.
Thank you, Floor Leader. A motion has been made for the passage of Senate Bill number 23-13, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? Okay, Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Vada? Representative Faldan? Representative Benavente?
Hungan.
Representative Angelo Camacho?
Yes.
Representative Diego Camacho?
Yes.
Representative Joel Camacho?
Good.
Representative Vicente Camacho?
Yes.
Representative Castro?
Hungan.
Representative Joseph Flores?
Yes.
Representative Marissa Flores?
Yes.
Representative Manglotnia?
Yes.
Representative Vogel?
Yes.
Representative Omar?
Hungan.
Representative Sablan?
Hungan.
Representative San Nicolas?
Yes.
Representative Yumo?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 17 members present voted yes.
Thank you, Clerk. And with all 17 members present voting yes, Senate Bill number 23-13 hereby passes the House. Thank you, colleagues, and that takes care of our bill calendar. And before we move down to item number 17, miscellaneous business, I'd like to go back to the introduction of bills under House Local Bills. Just for clarification, because just to make it clear, because some issues were brought up to my attention. Pursuant to Rule 8, Section 1, where it says here, including local appropriation bills should be referred to the Committee on Ways and Means. House Local Bills number 23-54 and 23-55 does fall under the Ways and Means duties and responsibilities. So just to make it clear that House Local Bill number 23-54 and 23-55 will be going to the House Ways and Means Committee, just to make that clear. Thank you. And with that, we now move down to item number 17, miscellaneous. Floor is recognized.
Thank you, Mr.
Representative
Speaker.
Angelo Camacho.
If there's no objection, can we go back to House resolutions so that I can cast my vote? Thank you.
Any objections, colleagues? No objection. Okay, so we'll go back to what was that? Item number 15, House Joint Resolution 23-2, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's 23-2. Okay, Clerk, go ahead, please, for 23-2 to register Representative Angelo's vote.
Representative Angelo Camacho?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 17 members present voted yes.
Okay, thank you. And with that, again, for the record, House Joint Resolution number 23-2 is hereby adopted with 17 in favor. All right, and with that, we now move down to item number 17, miscellaneous business, and the floor is open. I recognize Representative Diego Vincent Camacho.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I feel compelled to make a statement for the record in regards to some of these communications, specifically on the Senate communications. While I'm sure that most of these resolutions are meaningful and commendable, I like to see more communication in regards to legislations, and a lot of it, could address some of our revenue shortfalls. And I plead to our good Senate members to entertain our many bills, and some of which have not been assigned. And to that note, Mr. Speaker and colleagues, I'd like to also bring to your attention, and with that, to our good leader, Rep. Nicholas, I do commend you for introducing your two local bills relating to an additional percentage on the construction tax for your district. However, we have a very similar piece of legislation, House Bill 2374, that addresses the same goal and intent of leveraging these high ticket infrastructure projects CNMI wide, as opposed to specific senatorial district, but it is this prerogative. So, I ask those who repeatedly use the mantra of let's work together and, please act on these revenue generating legislation for the CNMI as a whole. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Diego Vincent Camacho. Recognize Representative Roman Benavente.
Jesus Mosi, Mr. Speaker, ana jaw na bisangan ta gini no estina bill introduce ki last time. Bini ana gi house. Unfortunately, no bulati man satisfecho sa mampus no problema. Gini ni Senate loki comments manuhujung. Ana yo introduce jo na bill. Apasa gi house lo. Ti malofan ulu gi Senate. Lo sinimbadgu istigi na umuhujung paugui augui ni representative bill gini tinian, representative tinian. Personalmente tauja bingwansa dan tauja hafana baba na sentimento contra individual ni introduce lo dongklu na respeto sa besangani kita gini na intensyon ni bill ni matsogi papa ti diretso sa matsogi para tiniana ja problema ang Commonwealth. Kumu Commonwealth white naila da tafana ajuda lo itinian loki dispensa jo da besonga na gini majuria gi Senate na matui bill gini nesti ni para minaulik ekonomiya dan para minaulik taw-taw ta siya lo sinimbadgu tipu musibli either mana maigwa yulu gi Senate or mapunwa gi Senate na tipo-papa estina bill ma-introduce pa ako kana most exactly the same often na bill ni craft gi ni utsogi ni construction contractor tax bill that toda dinidaho ni intensyon maulig intensyon lo debidi tafanak konsidera dataso na problema tinera na problema ang Commonwealth jadang kulis na salapi pro halon angin siya kaso fitsay salapi umano gato tinian miggay pro sulit tinian lo saipan Commonwealth in nasa ho tawsa parewa luta dan saipan tiufan man miresi no na salapi ang gima trata kati lo kumu mago fo zaman mago fit auto tinian tanagwaha Commonwealth wide da todo dufan man miresi sa uno na Commonwealth wa dagalo ni uno na Commonwealth tres na isla ni mo manenia mo na itano kinalam tenta gini kita maranas pues daw na bisangan tagi no speaker tipo dumi sa titintujo law daw na bi share para todos Jesus Mosi.
Thank you, Representative Roman Benavente. Recognize Representative Lita San Nicolas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tungasin natin debatable sti miscellaneous nelo o comprendido niya sentiments siya na gentleman. Mula rason loki no chogi sti sa kay kada mattu bandan budget na tiniya na mapupuno na. Tiniya na mapupuno todo no siya la tiniya lai no pago ni je bula aktibidad na ni mana halom pago tax magi gi general funds. Jagwa record to ni state fiscal year of 2024. Kung man na halong ginitinian magi gi general funds. Estigi mo na rason on introduce. Esti ay tipot no pabi famanggal na tinian ay. Papata judaji di toto tinian sa haji pore na judaji tinian. Ti de me babatizon ko no Rep Benavente no Rep Camacho no o comprenda no zon mizo no sentiment no o agradeci a fa finomizo lo estigi no so wisti sa tanatalus ti proposo i administrasyon 40 poro fan mapuno tinian gi banda ni sti under sinamay no account gi mayor's office 40 na to 40 na familias ti Pero sa mano ni para tatsogi mas ni para ta proteges ti siya na totogis dan ni familia niya. Tamano mas ne. Terus manasuzo na para mlingya ang tagina na klase. Sa bula no rep no Benavente dan Camacho bula mahalom sa lapi ginintinian ginintinian magi gi general funds. Tisinya no piso lo siya komento. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Jesus motion
Ay, nanga Representative Roman Benavente. Esta? No. Okay. Representative Marissa. First.
Thank you, Speaker. For the first time, I'm not in that conversation, so I'm going to take a left turn here real quick, and this is going to go back to what has transpired this week in regard to the budget hearings, specifically towards the CCC Commission, Commonwealth Casino Commission. As we all know, nothing here is private. A lot of the budget hearings have been made public for the populace to have an opinion, to disagree, to agree. But at the end of the day, it's all about transparency and accountability. And the exchange that the great chairman, Mr. De Leon Guerrero, had shared with us was that he was here asking the legislative body of Ways and Means to appropriate the $3 million, which is mandated by law. Okay, that was fine. Good on him. But he also did, as he mentioned, submit a budget request from the legislature for the Casino Commission. So two different things happened at once. I'm not sure where he took a left turn at, but he was supposed to address the budget submission in which he submitted. And he didn't do that. He started talking about something else. Anyway, for the sake of clarity and for the sake of transparency, so the general public knows, there is a shortfall everywhere. Our government is bloated, and we are left now with trying to fix and address a lot of the problems, mind you. Once again, the general public will once again tell me and attack me and say that I'm stuck in the past, addressing the mistakes of the past administration. Absolutely, yes, I am. Because we are in a deficit. The past administration has left us handicapped with how we're supposed to figure out now to balance a budget and protect all people in the Commonwealth. Period. Now, when the casino chairman made his remark, obviously it was very heated. And I did make a comment that there was a difference in generation. And I'm going to be very clear that I wasn't disrespecting the chairman. However, it is evident that our manamko, with all due respect, have an opinion and have a way of raising the generations after them, which includes myself and many of us in this body. I did not disrespect him, nor was the intent to disrespect him. But the difference between a leadership under his realm as a casino chairman did not do any justice to help the people of the Commonwealth, because everybody would have enjoyed the millions and millions of dollars had he conducted his fiduciary responsibility. So while he sits there and claims and insults me that I did not take any classes on criminal justice, what I do know is fairness. What I do understand is accountability. What I do know is transparency. And if he and I would sit down once again, I would have to say we would disagree on many things. So I'm pretty sure Mr. Chairman Guerrero's watching, and with all due respect, sir, I did not disrespect you in any way, shape, or form, but I do have an opinion on how you lead a commission. And just based on the circumstances and where we're at now with IPI, for the record, the courts have no dockets that are pending between IPI and the revocation. So he could have acted, and the members of the commission could have acted on the revocation of the license, but they didn't. And their failure to do that has placed us in this situation. So that's one. And to the general public, we are now left with, what do we do with a idle commission who cannot revoke a license? This Ways and Means body is left with, shall we give them money or shall we not? And as Mr. Guerrero says, he will use the money to train staff on a casino that's non-existent. So I would think maybe he might probably just pay themselves, because that's what the law says, that they are due a paycheck, which is why they meet. And I don't know why they meet if they can't even revoke a license. So just to be clear, and in terms of transparency, when he came in, he was supposed to act on the budget submission under the Budget Act, but spoke of something else completely different. And with that, Mr. Speaker, it's very important that this body continue to be transparent and continue to address the issues in which where we're at right now. Number one, short in our revenue, the past and abuse of the past administration's extravagance in terms of utilizing $3 billion that came into the Commonwealth. There's no sustainable plan. There was no sustainable plan. There is no sustainable plan in any record, including the Secretary of Finance or any other government entity in which all of that money was being passed through. So here we are. Ways and Means, this 23rd legislature is once again tasked with inheriting problems that we now must fix. I ask the general public that you please be patient. We are going to be in Road and Tinian to conduct public hearings to hear everybody. Just as Rep. Benavente said, it's one Commonwealth. That it also includes the Northern Islands. We breathe the same air. Bodies of water doesn't separate us by blood. That's the difference. And if we could just, for once, take that and hold everybody together as one family, then we wouldn't be in this problem. But because one wants more, the other one wants more, we're all trying to save everyone. There's no difference. And we're doing the best we can. And if that's not good enough for the rest of the people, then all our doors are open to hear what you have to say and offer the solutions, because we're doing our best. And I want to thank the governor and his representatives. I guess yesterday it came to our attention that the Cabotage Act and request for the waiver to be included, for the CNMI to be included in that waiver program, has made it to the House floor and been submitted. So that's the step. That's progress. We have been held hostage for so long on everything. Budget, airline tickets, medical referral, and that's all because of failed leadership. There's problems everywhere, not just Road and Tinian, including Saipan and the Northern Islands. But until we come together and figure out ways to think as one body and one Commonwealth, until that time comes, we're going to be sitting here just like this. But just because waters separate us, it doesn't separate us by blood. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield.
Thank you, Representative Marissa Flores. Representative Manny Castro.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to speak about the two bills that Leader San Nicolas just introduced. And earlier it was mentioned in Chamorro, so I just wanted to speak a little bit about it in English. I do understand, you know, from the perspective that he was alluding to. You know, we have to help Rhoda, we have to help Tinian. But if we're gonna go in that direction, you know, if we're gonna go in that direction and that design, then we can decentralize everything, and we can just make all reverse all Commonwealth-wide taxes and excise tax and make it Saipan only and Rhoda only, and you know, so if we're trying to help each other, we you know we need to keep it the way it is, which is a Commonwealth wide bill rather than a local law, which is what Representative Benavente and several others tried to do earlier this year. But the concept was, you know, no to increase in tax, that yet we see the same legislation introduced on a local level, same legislation introduced on a local level by the same proponents that were against the CNMI level tax bill. So, you know, if we truly want to be one Commonwealth, then, you know, we need to make sure that the tax system is fair, because a lot of the business activity is happening here in Saipan, and a lot of the resources will end up on Tinian and Rhoda should we introduce this type of legislation as a Commonwealth bill. So with all due respect to floor leader, I just wanted to put that out in English so that the general public can understand what we're talking to, for those that don't speak in vernacular. On a side note, I also want to, you know, I think together with Rep. John Paul Sablon, where there's going to be a concert in Precinct 2. Oh, okay. We'll get to that on announcement. Thank you. I yield, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Representative Roman Benavente.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, I just like to wanted to get back to the representative from Tinian, Mr. Patrick, Mr. Nicholas. I didn't mean by saying what I said. I didn't mean that, you know, to make anybody feel comfortable about it. It's just the reality that I see. Since 2013, I started shooting out revenue generating bills out in this floor. But every time it goes to the Senate, it passes the House, it goes to the Senate, it's dead. For I don't know how many bills that I've introduced. Records speak for itself if you check the archive of how much revenue generating bill I introduce. And every time I introduce, it just shuts down. They gave me the notion that they were going to support it, but unfortunately they never did, and they never even entertained it. So, you know, action speaks louder than words. So I just want to say this. I don't mean anything, but once and for all, do it Commonwealth-wide. Whatever your bill is, do it Commonwealth-wide. And let's sit down together and let's talk. Let Senate talk. Let the House talk. Let all of us, including the administration, if we can communicate and have a good dialogue, at least for the sake of the people of the Commonwealth. That's all I'm asking. Jesus Masi, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Sorry for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Representative Roman Benavente. Any further under miscellaneous? I recognize Representative Marissa Flores.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Obviously, I also feel the same way about this piece of legislation. So without objection, can we go back to the local bill part of the agenda?
Quick recess, no recess. Before we went on recess, we were still under miscellaneous, and we're still under miscellaneous. So, floor is still open. Representative Manny Costro.
So just a recap of that previous statement. It was 3 Tinian senators that voted or did not support the construction tax bill that was introduced in the House. That was a Commonwealth-wide construction tax bill. Yet, the same tax bill is being introduced on a local level for the island of Tinian as a local law, right? So, if we really want to solve some of these Commonwealth-wide issues, we need to do it as a whole and not piecemeal it. So just wanted to end with that. On a side note, in regards to the local bill, that reappropriation bill that was introduced earlier, when it gets referred, Mr. Speaker and members, I hope that we can also act on that. It is summertime. A lot of kids are out, and that appropriation that I introduced earlier is meant to support youth affairs, SAR, Parks and Rec, Department of Corrections, to assist a lot of the recreational activities in our precinct. So I look for your support when that gets to the delegation level. Thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Manny. Representative Vincent Audon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I did send out a report, or even during the last session or the last committee session that we had, that I requested CUC to give me a cost of service study, for the grid, but yet they gave me a cost of service study for utilities. So I'm not sure how many hundreds of thousands of dollars did CUC pay this economist.com, but I think like a first grader could have made this would understand what's going on with CUC and its mismanagement. And anybody that actually can run a business understand this full well. And I'll just quote this from this crappy report that they got, and it says that CUC's electric cost of service exceeds revenues when uncollectible accounts are taken into consideration. Really? I mean, what are we at now? Already like $80 million, in arrears. So CUC paid somebody, hundreds of thousands of dollars to come up with this report to tell us that, including that, the cost of service study, electricity is expensive because we've got like $80 million worth of uncollected arrears, right? Then it says the current deficit is likely to worsen in the coming years. With the state of the economy, you bet it is. It's going to get worse, right? And then Power Plant 1 cost is 2 to 3 times higher than the comparable power plants managed by other utilities. Your power plant is only 40 years old, and they don't make those parts anymore. So of course it's going to cost more. It says that the cost to operate Power Plant 1, right? CUC has to pay an additional $4 million per year to Agreco. $4 million per year. How long has Agreco been operating down there? They might as well just own the whole power plant and call it a day. Might as well just privatize CUC and have Agreco run it, since we're giving it to Agreco anyways at the tune of $4 million a year. As for the water, CUC's current water rates for its government class are consciously designed to subsidize its residential class. So you have a utility company that is in cahoots with the government and agreeing that the government is going to have a government rate, so that the government, playing politics, we're going to make the government rates higher, so that way you don't make the residential rates, high. How's that subsidy working out? Because evidently the government is not paying it. So yet the government collects taxes from the resident, and then the government doesn't pay its obligation, and then CUC turns around and charges us for those arrears that are not collected. So a government can't even pay the subsidy, yet it incurs late fees and penalties, which increases the arrears. So subsidizing does not work. That's why we introduced the bill to get rid of government, rates, because it's not helping out anybody. So the cost of service analysis results clearly shows that the government class water rates far in excess of their cost of service. This was a policy decision made by CUC and the CNMI government years ago, when there was a need to increase residential water rates. The CNMI government agreed to pay higher rates or higher water rates in return for eliminating the increase in residential water rates. Subsidies does not work. When the government is subsidizing something, especially such as this, it doesn't work. Because at the end of the day, the government goes broke. And when the economy tanks and it cannot collect that money, and yet it's getting charged a higher rate to supposedly help residential, but then turns around and flops. So this CUC's cost of service analysis report, it says everything that I've always been asking, our committee and this legislation and the administration, that the way CUC is being managed is down the drain. The way the board is managing it is going down the drain, and it's going down the drain quick. Where are we going to find $80 million to pay that arrears? You can't. The budget is what? 114 million? I don't know, but to the public, I hope you're understanding this. The arrears is 80 million. The entire CNMI budget is 114 million. Do the math. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Vincent Aldan. I recognize Representative Marissa Flores.
Thank you, Speaker. And I think I do have a responsibility to also echo, but not in the same line in which the chairman from PUTC is speaking, but in line with my colleague, the chairman of Health and Welfare. On June 13, 2024, my office wrote a letter to the CEO, Ms. Esther Muña, and the Chairman of Board of Trustees, Juan Necabebota, requesting under the Open Government Act, fiscal year 2022 through 2024, year to date, all documents regarding tax payments and the remittance of tax withholding, including and but not limited to several of the following tax documents for the period fiscal year 2022, fiscal year 2024, year to date, all documents related to the payment of utility bills, including but not limited to, again, following utility statements and records to gather that information. For the period of 2017 through 2024, year to date, all documents wherein the primary subject is the state of the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation's finances. For the period of fiscal year 2022 through FY 2024, year to date, all policies, records, and other documentation related to the hiring of key personnel as referred to in 3 CMC Section 2827 H5I that are currently employed by the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation. All policies, records, and other documentation related to the hiring of the CEO, CFO, Chief Medical Officer, Director of Nursing, Director of Community Guidance Center, and the resident directors of the Tinian and Rhoda Health Centers, and that are currently employed by the Healthcare Corporation. For the period of FY 2022 through FY 2024, all policies, records, and other documentation related to the employee grievance process or other similar process in which employees may raise workplace concerns of dissatisfaction, including other related documents. For the period of FY 2022 to FY 2024, all documents regarding the organization and restructuring of the Human Resource Department of the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation and all board meeting minutes from FY 2013 through FY 2024 year to date. So for the general public who have been very open about our inability to act on issues that concern government employees and agencies, autonomous, semi-autonomous agencies under the executive branch, we are requesting these documents. There is a process. It does take time. And once those become available to us, we will again inform the general public of the next steps. But because there are processes that have to be followed, we must adhere to that to ensure that our investigations or the document gatherings are in line with those rules. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield.
Thank you, Representative Marissa Flores. Nothing further under miscellaneous? All right, we now move down to announcements. Anyone for announcements? Recognize Representative Vincent O'Don.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I hope that the public or the general public are aware that we'll be going to Rhoda to conduct a public hearing on bills that are, within the PUTC committee, and also on miscellaneous section during those public hearing, we'll be discussing all other PUTC bills. So we're going to be doing it in Rhoda, and then once we get to Tinian, we'll do another one for Tinian, and then Saipan would be last to ensure that everybody understands all the bills that are still sleeping in the Senate.
Thank you, Representative Vincent O'Don. Any further under announcements? Recognize Representative John Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I just wanted to announce and let the public know that the Rematau Outreach concert will be coming to Precinct 2, and that will be at the San Isidro Beach at Lally 4. And that will be at on the 30th, this coming Sunday, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. These are the same concert that I've already did a concert in Precinct 4 and Precinct 5. They are bound to come on the 30th on Precinct 2, and we welcome the public to come and join the entertainment in our vernacular and our cultural way, Chamorro and Carolinian song. So to the public, please join us this coming June 30. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative John Paul Sablan. Representative Manny Castro.
In addition to that concert coming up this week, there also will be a movie night sponsored by BCQ as part of their CNMI Ocean Month. The movie night will be located at Bantalon Beach. And so there'll be 2 showings. Please reach out to BCQ for more details. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Manny Castro. Any further under announcements? Ready? Okay, we now move down to adjournment. Recognize
know,
Representative
My
Dego Vincent
apologies.
Camacho.
I'd like to congratulate Team CNMI for representing well at the macro games, bringing in 122 medals, record winnings. Also to the folks who represented the CNMI well too in at the FESPAC. So thank you.
Thank you, Representative Diego Vincent Camacho. Any further under announcements? If nothing further, I recognize the floor leader for adjournment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'll offer a motion to adjourn subject to the call of the chair. So move.
Thank you. A motion has been made by the floor leader for adjournment, has been seconded. Any discussions? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Session's adjourned. Thank you, members.